Let me in fact take our viewers to look at the comparison between 2017 and 2026 BMC elections, because we saw the past 10 years comparison. Now it's very important to see how the BMC elections were over 9 years ago, and this election has been, everyone had been waiting for, and this is the situation, like the seat share comparison. So the BJP in 2017 had 82 seats, and today in 2026, as of now, as of 3:30 p.m., we are seeing 95 seats, and so that's an increase of 13%. If we look at the Shiv Sena, so in 2017 the Shiv Sena was consolidated, we didn't have two factions, it got 84 seats. But today if we look at Shiv Sena, it's only got 28 seats, it's divided. We have a Shiv Sena led by Shinde faction, we have a Shiv Sena with the UBT, and it's a decrease of 56 vote shares. If we look at the Congress, they had 31 seats in 2017, and they have declined to 13 in 2026. So that's a decline of 18 seats. The NCP in 2017 they had 9 seats, and in 2026 they are looking at 0. That's what we were talking about. They have lost even their urban voters. MNS, they had 7 vote shares in 2017, and in 2026 they are at 9. And when we look at SP, or the Samajwadi Party, they had 6 in 2017, and now it's 0. And others, in 2017 they had 8, and this time we're looking at 17 people. So these are all in fact very important numbers as well, because look at the others or independent candidates, they have also increased their vote share in this election. So right now, in fact, joining me on the broadcast again will be my colleague Shahid Ansari, who's live at the BJP headquarters over here in Mumbai. तो शाहिद, हम 2017 से कंपेयर कर रहे थे बीजेपी जो बीएमसी के जो इलेक्शंस हैं, उसमें ऑब्वियसली जो शिवसेना 2017 में एक साथ थी, एकजुट थी, उनको बहुत ज़्यादा सीट्स मिले थे। इस बार वो बहुत रिड्यूस हो गई हैं, और हमने ये भी देखा है कि जो इंडिपेंडेंट और अदर्स कैंडिडेट्स हैं वो भी इस बार 2026 में ज़्यादा परफॉर्मेंस बेटर किए हैं, और बीजेपी ने भी बहुत अच्छा किया है।
जी देखिए, उस वक्त जो हालात थे तब और अब में देखिए बहुत फ़र्क है। 2017 की बात करें और आज की बात करें तो बहुत ज़्यादा फ़र्क है। और 2017 में जो आपको असल चीज़ देखी, जो आपने कही अभी, तब ठाकरे ब्रदर्स का फैक्टर नहीं था, बल्कि वो तो अलग अलग थे। उनमें जो है शिंदे जो आज बीजेपी के साथ है वो उनके साथ थे, और आज जो है शिंदे जो है बीजेपी के साथ है। इस दौरान जो है कई सारे चुनाव हुए, और उसके बाद भी जो है आप देखिए कि महायुति महाविकास आघाड़ी का जो गठन हुआ, ये दोनों सारी चीज़ें बहुत अलग अलग रही हैं। बीजेपी के दफ्तर के बाहर जो मुख्यालय है, मैं उसके बाहर ही मैं मौजूद हूँ, और अभी कुछ ही देर में जो है देवेंद्र फडणवीस जो है राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री वो आने वाले हैं। 2017 के चुनाव का आपने जिक्र किया था। 2017 के चुनाव में जो है हालात बहुत अलग थे। उस वक्त जो है जो शिंदे सेना है वो जो है ठाकरे ब्रदर के साथ थी। वो अलग बात थी कि राज ठाकरे जो है उनके साथ नहीं थे, लेकिन जो है उस दौरान जो असल चीज़ जो देखने को मिली है कि और जो समीकरण जो असल में तय हुआ है वो शिंदे सेना का जो है बीजेपी में शामिल होना, कहीं ना कहीं जो है बीजेपी को एक तरह से एक ताकत तो मिली ही है, भले वो इस चीज़ को नज़रअंदाज करें। बावजूद उसके बीजेपी की जो मुंबई में सीट है वो 90 के आसपास है। शिंदे सेना की बात करें तो उनकी 28 सीट है, और उसके साथ साथ ठाकरे की बात करें जो है तो उनके 57 सीटें हैं। मनसे की बात करें तो 9 सीटें हैं, जबकि जो है कांग्रेस की बात करें तो 15 सीटें मौजूदा वक्त में हैं, और अगर राष्ट्रवादी की बात करें तो 3 सीटें हैं, और अदर की बात करें तो तकरीबन 18 सीटें हैं। तो ये जो है अब जो हुआ है, अब आज के दौर में अगर बीजेपी की बात करेंगे तो 90 जो सीटें बीजेपी की अभी की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ मुंबई में, और कुछ इसी तरह से परफॉर्मेंस पूरे महाराष्ट्र में है। 29 महानगर पालिका के चुनाव में 25 कम से कम 25 जगहों पर अब तक तो जो है बीजेपी ने जो है अपने झंडे गाड़ दिए हैं, और कुछ समय में वो भी क्लियर हो जाएगा। और अगर 25 22 उसमें जो है उन्होंने अपने झंडे गाड़े हैं। तो आप ये 2017 और आज की अगर बात करेंगे तो ज़मीन और आसमान का फ़र्क है। बीजेपी एक तरह से ये कह सकती है कि अगर शिंदे से भी ज़्यादा वोट उनको, शिंदे से भी ज़्यादा जो है सीटें उनको मिली है। शिंदे की जो है 28 सीटें हैं, बीजेपी की 90 सीटें हैं। तो आप अंदाज़ा लगा लीजिए कि राज्य में जो है बीजेपी का जो परफॉर्मेंस है वो हर पार्टी से भी कहीं ज़्यादा है। और बीजेपी अब अपने दम पर जो है पूरे राज्य में जो है ये दावे कर सकती है कि वो जो है दावा रख सकती है बीएमसी पर। अगर इसके पहले की आप बात करें तो वो चाहे वह सिचुएशन नहीं थी। 2017 में बीजेपी की सेकंड कुछ 82 सीटें थी और सेकंड पोजीशन में थी। और अब की बात करें तो बीजेपी अकेले 90 सीटें अगर अभी तक मुंबई में ला सकती है तो इसका मतलब यह है कि बीजेपी ने जो है अपने आप को बहुत बदला। और मौजूदा वक्त में जो बीजेपी ने जो जनता की डिमांड रही है।
In fact, let me go across to Mukesh Tyagi. Sir, जब हम BJP की, when we are speaking about the BJP, obviously now we will see the BJP is at the center, the BJP is leading in the state as well, and now the BJP will be leading in the BMC as well. So do we see this three-deck engine now leading to better progress for Mumbai? For the Mumbaikars who are expecting a lot of development, a lot of projects and a lot of civic issues to be resolved, sir?
You see, the most important thing which has happened is Mumbai is a economic capital of the country. Now, very huge investment is attracted because Mumbai offers a very powerful ecosystem. Now, what has happened, unfortunately, the politics of Maharashtra was reduced to a caste politics. One of the major achievements what Prime Minister Modi has done is he has obliterated this caste equation which was becoming thriving base in Bihar, and it was a very accentuating politics which was played on a son of soil theory, whether it is a Raj Thackeray or Uddhav Thackeray. They were solely representing the local politics. Now the pragmatic politics, as I mentioned earlier, has taken over this political ideology. Look at Devendra Fadnavis' job. I mean Atal Setu, which was perhaps conceived in way back in 60s, and he could complete in 7 years' time. And if Corona or COVID had not happened, then maybe it would have been completed much earlier. So development speaks. Look at the direct benefit transfer to the beneficiaries. We have effectively demonstrated that we can transfer. Look at the budget of BMC alone, which is, I think, 3 or 4 times more than most of the civic bodies across the country, and equivalent to the budget of many states. 75,000 crores approximately, 75,000 crores approximately. So this is the kind of body we have. It was subject to loot. It was subject to exploitation. And this was the major attraction for most of the parties. They wanted to capture this purse, this lucrative purse, and fill in their own coffers. So people have seen the intention because the development was suffering badly, and people have now understood. After Mr. Modi has taken over, let me tell you, he has created awareness of development in a significant and manifold fashion. You hold any conference, you go to G20, you go to BRICS, you will see Mr. Modi only talking about the development of India, and he has coined the word Viksit India. So I think entire put together, like you said, a triple deck engine, of course is a triple engine which will be benefiting the people. 20 to 30% voter, look at their how regressive and preposterous these opposition party is. They were talking against Gujarat. They were saying that Maharashtra is becoming Gujarat. So what, like 20 to 30%, they were beating up the North Indian people when they were coming for the railway recruitment. They were making a parochial language issues, local development, and goons were all over. They were intimidating people, shopkeepers, vendors. So there was a management of by fear. And then they saw that these people are not united. Brothers have broken away after Shiv Sena, which was only planked that I will never in my life, Bala Sahib said, ever compromise with the Congress. The day I will compromise with the Congress, I will put a lock on my shop. This was a firm, deeply entrenched philosophy of Shiv Sena. What the sons have done, they have completely decimated that philosophy, which was a Maratha consolidation. They failed. Sharad Pawar, who was elected as the youngest chief minister of Maharashtra, what has happened today, he has been completely decimated. He was like, people used to say that if Mr. Sharad Pawar even does not go to Baramati, he will still win the election. That kind of popularity he enjoyed. So what has happened is these people were playing on a very narrow, complacent, and kind of a coffer which was they were filling in. They were looting this state. Now people have understood, and this is, I think, Mr. Fadnavis and many other leaders, including Eknath Shinde, they thought that Eknath Shinde will be also wiped out because he'll not be able to withstand. Even he lost their election symbol, so they were saying now election chori. Rahul Gandhi, all the time he's criticizing the institutions. So people have understood it. They are making some hollow claims, and it is not going to work. People, we need development. You have seen how Jal Yukti Shivir has worked, the water conservation. You have seen the Right to Service Act. 300 services have been brought so that there is a reduced corruption. So the intention of the Fadnavis government is very, very strong. Somebody was making a statement like Eknath Shinde will merge into BJP or BJP will merge into it. You know, this is not important. What is important, the central point is the development. You have to focus on the development. And even you merge or don't merge, that's a political freedom. It makes no difference. But we are not talking about development. We are talking about election chori, election commission is compromised, EVM is compromised. None of these statements has stood the test of the judiciary. They have gone several times challenging the EV. They demonstrated in London. They are going to on the SIR. They themselves asked for SIR. Now, when the SIR was conducted, they started talking against it. So they have to oppose. So this kind of, multiple standard of the opposition stand exposed today, and that's what is being reflected in the Maharashtra election. And I'm extremely happy. Honestly speaking, I'm from Maharashtra. I have lived in Maharashtra. I'm literally a practical domicile. When I used to walk on the roads, it was in a bad condition. BMC had become the fountainhead of corruption. And I think this is very important that the cleansing operation is undertaken by the government and turned Mumbai and entire civic bodies, whether it's the Pune or other areas, into one of the most ideal place for anyone to come and see. The development will speak. There is a maxim called in res ipsa loquitur. Things will speak for itself, and that is what has been proved in this election.
Absolutely. In fact, let me go across to Rajalakshmi Joshi. Ma'am, I want to understand, we were talking about, the NCP as well. Their numbers have been reduced to 0. We are seeing absolutely even MNS is seeing 0 numbers right now with the trends that are coming in. Do you think that people now are moving beyond political legacy? They are moving beyond all those, narratives that have been built?
I'm not sure about the MNS getting a 0. I think they have a few seats in which they are leading. But yes, they are definitely losing their relevance, because this kind of an aggressive behavior where a political leader...
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. I just got the numbers. MNS has 9 seats. So, yeah, you're right.
Yes. So, the fact of the matter is that you cannot say maybe call a political leader from Tamil Nadu Rasmalai, and you talk about pungi and lungi and all those kind of vulgar kind of terms, and then I don't think that kind of finds favor with people. Like I was saying, it is one thing to be proud about the language. Yes, I understand about the Marathi Asmita, but then this is the whole new extreme where you beat up people who cannot speak in Marathi. So even if somebody accidentally speaks in Hindi, they beat up somebody saying that, oh, you're in Maharashtra, why can't you speak in Marathi? In fact, to the extent that one young boy, he committed suicide after being bullied by people who intimidated him for not speaking in Marathi. He himself was a Marathi youngster, and by mistake, he's told somebody, "Thoda aage badho." Just for that, he was intimidated, bullied, and it led to him committing suicide. So this kind of an aggressive approach, I don't think that is something that the youngsters of today or even the even the common man, I don't think that that is something that they want for their city. So the issues of the city are entirely different. This kind of an approach happens when you don't have anything to offer to the people. You don't have any prior achievements and you don't have any vision for the future. And you only keep harping upon how certain corporates are getting undue favors. It is not so. I have to mention this also here because when they start talking about the Dharavi slums and the Dharavi redevelopment by Adanis, the Adanis did not come there, or they were not parachuted, or they were not brought in by the BJP. The tendering process had happened during the Uddhav Thackeray chief ministership, and he was the one who had approved of two bidders, one of them being Adani, and that is how Adani came into the picture. And today they're the same people who are trying to obstruct this huge project simply because it has a name Adani, which they want to obstruct in the name of saying that the entire city of Mumbai is being kind of given away to the Gujaratis. So these people were trying to obstruct the metro project, which went on hold for 2 years under environmental issues, because simply because they held up an issue saying that it is harmful to RA colony. Whereas the entire project, if you look at it, the end result is that it saves a whole lot more of the environment than cutting a few trees. Yes, sometimes you have to lose a certain amount, and for the larger benefit of the entire city and the state, maybe. So that is how things work. So the feasibility reports were in place, everything was in place. So in spite of all of that, the Thackeray's, they kept harping on this. So today you can see that they neither have the vision nor do they have any achievements to speak of. After being in rule in the BMC for 25 years, if somebody has to pick up something, an issue of Marathi Asmita, and about talking in Marathi, about talking about Marathi Manus, only that is the only issue that you can talk about, then I think that that's a sad state of affairs, and that is exactly the reason why you can see the results as they are. So, and to add to all of it, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has been a work from home CM. He used to conduct interviews, he used to conduct meetings on Facebook, and he used to have online sessions. He was not in connect with his corporators, with his MLAs, with his MPs, with his karyakartas, and that was the reason why a huge chunk has broken away. Now, Bala Saheb Thackeray ji had a huge fan following. They were fans. They were not just his karyakartas. So, in spite of that, if he is not able to hold on to these people, to his loyal supporters, it speaks a lot about how he has lost his track of what his ideology was, what exactly the party stands for, what the people want, what the people in Mumbai are looking forward to. I think that he has lost the plot there. So it's the same thing for the MNS, and it's the same thing similarly, I think even NCP also, they don't have too many issues that they can talk about, neither in terms of achievements nor in terms of what they have to offer. I think that the NCP, sadly, it was doing well when it was a part of the coalition. But isolation, when it comes to them being in isolation, I think that the people
All right,
probably
ma'am.
don't.